In the old days, when rivers were respected like elders and the forest still had a voice, there was a farming village in Ghana called Asubirim. It was a simple place of mud houses, smoky kitchens, yam barns, palm trees, and children running barefoot before sunrise. In that village lived a child no one truly claimed. Her name was Akosua Nketewa, little Akosua. She was born on a Sunday, just before the rains. Her mother died the same day. Her father, a hunter, raised her for a short while, but one morning he entered the forest and never returned. So Akosua became everybody's child and nobody's child. One woman gave her leftover bag. Another let her sleep near the kitchen. People called her my child when visitors were around, but when soup was shared, they forgot her. That was how Akosua grew, not loved properly, not hated completely, just left in between by 7. She knew hunger like a relative. She knew which houses cooked early and how to pretend she was not hungry when other children ate. The children teased her, Akosua Nketewa, the child the wind brought and forgot. She never answered. But at night, beside the old shrine house, she whispered, "I am here. Even if nobody sees me, I am here." Only one person truly saw her, an old woman called Mom Dufie. Mom Dufie sold roasted plantain beside the farm path. Every evening, when the fire was low, she called Akosua and placed a small piece in her hand. "Eat." "Thank you, Mom. Don't thank me too much. It is only the burnt side." But Akosua ate it slowly, as if it were a feast. One evening, Mom Dufie opened a clay pot hidden under dry leaves. Inside were seeds, maize, beans, millet, and small brown grains Akosua did not know. "These came from my mother," Mom Dufie said. "Some of these seeds survived years when even strong men cried. Can we cook them?" Akosua asked. The old woman laughed. "No, child. When you eat seed, you have eaten tomorrow." She tied the seeds in a cloth pouch and gave it to Akosua. "Keep them. One day, when you get land, plant them." "Who will give me land?" Akosua asked. Mom Dufie touched her cheek. "Sometimes what people throw away is where God hides food." Akosua did not understand, but she kept the seeds. When people mocked her, she touched the pouch. When hunger troubled her, she held it against her chest. Years passed. Akosua grew tall, quiet, and strong from work. She weeded farms, carried water, gathered firewood, and pounded fufu until her palms burned. But while she worked, she watched. She learned how farmers planted yam, how women saved seed maize, which crops grew in tired soil, and what the clouds, ants, cracked earth, and river mud were saying. People thought she was only a poor servant girl. They did not know she was learning. When Akosua was about 15, she knelt before the village headman. "Nana Kwaku Bonsu. Nana, please. I want land." The elders laughed. "Land," one said. "With which family?" "I have no family to stand behind me." "Then who will clear it?" "I will." Nana Bonsu pointed toward the back of the old shrine. "There is land there, stones and thorns. Even weeds are tired of growing there. If you want land, take that one." But Akosua bowed. "Thank you, Nana." The land was terrible. Hard red earth, deep cracks, stones like old bones, and thorns that tore her legs. But Akosua smiled. For the first time, something had been given to her, even if it was given as an insult. The next morning, she borrowed Mom Dufie's old hoe. She removed stones, carried leaves from the forest edge, mixed ash into the soil, and collected goat droppings in a broken pot. The children laughed. Akosua is farming goat dirt. She will harvest flies. She ignored them. Sometimes the sun was too hot, and she sat on a stone and cried quietly. Then she wiped her face and continued. When the rains came, she planted Mom Dufie's seeds. The first harvest was small, only one basket, but Akosua danced. Dufie laughed. You are dancing over one basket. Mom, last year I had nothing to harvest. Akosua roasted some maize, shared it with the old woman, and saved the best seeds. The next season was better. The season after that, better still. Slowly, the stony land changed. Maize grew there. Beans climbed sticks. Millet stood proudly. Okra opened yellow flowers. People passing by began to slow down. One woman said, "This girl's hand is good." Another said, "It is not only her hand. She wastes nothing." That was true. Akosua wasted nothing. Not water, not ash, not seed, not food, not time. Then came the year nobody forgot. The wind changed first. It came to dry, too early. Dust entered soup pots. The river grew thin. Frogs stopped singing. Farmers waited. But the rains did not come. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. The sky remained empty. Maize died in the ground. Yam mounds cracked. Plantain leaves tore like old cloth. At first, people joked, rain has gone to visit its in-laws. But soon the jokes stopped. By the second month, hunger entered Asubirim and sat down like a chief. Children cried at night. Mothers cooked watery soup. Men stood in dead farms with empty eyes. Those with barns locked them. Those without barns prayed one afternoon. Elders passed Akosua's farm and stopped. Her farm was struggling, but it was alive. The maize leaves had curled, but some still stood. The millet looked tired but strong. The beans under shade had survived. How is your farm alive? An elder asked. Akosua wiped sweat from her face. I covered the soil with leaves. I dug water pits. I planted in stages. And these old seeds, no suffering. The next day, Nana Bonsu called her to the odum tree. Akosua, the village is hungry. You have food, a little. We want you to bring it, so the elders can share it. Akosua looked at the same elders who had laughed when she asked for land. For one moment, bitterness rose in her and said, let them taste what you tasted. But then she remembered Mom Dufie's burnt plantain. The old woman had not waited to have plenty before sharing. Akosua breathed deeply. I will bring food, but not for elders to hide in their houses. We will cook together. Children first, the sick first, pregnant women first, old people first. No one takes twice while another has not eaten. And no one cooks seed grain. An elder snapped. Since when does a girl give law to elders? Akosua looked at him. Since hunger stopped respecting age, nobody spoke. The next morning, Akosua's farm became a cooking ground. The food was not much, but it was warm. Millet, porridge, beans, roasted maize, and soup with more leaves than fish, but still soup. A small boy received the first bowl. His hands shook. He tried to drink too fast. Akosua knelt beside him. Slowly, Kwesi, the food will not run away. That day, Asubirim did not become full, but it became less afraid. For many days, Akosua shared what she had and taught what she knew. She led the people to the dry riverbed because, as a child, she had seen crabs digging there. On the third day, they found wet clay. On the fourth, water, muddy water, beautiful water. The people shouted like a child had been born. Akosua organized the village. Some dug wells, some cooked, some gathered edible leaves, some guarded the seed store. She showed them how to cover soil, plant in water pits, and save seed even when the stomach begged. Then strangers arrived from nearby villages, carrying mats, pots, children, and sorrow. The elders panicked. We cannot feed everyone. Akosua looked at the strangers, too weak to beg, and saw herself as a child outside other people's kitchens. No one who reaches our village hungry will be chased away, she said. Nana Bonsu sighed. Our food is small, then we will make our hearts bigger than the pot. Soon messengers arrive from other towns. How are you surviving? They asked. Nana Bonsu pointed to Akosua. Ask her. So Akosua sent young men and women out with seeds and knowledge, not sacks of food, because there was not enough, but methods, rules, discipline, hope. Do not go like chiefs, she told them. Go like servants. Hungry people do not need pride. They need help. Many villages listened, and many lived. One evening, Akosua went to Mom Dufie, who was now very weak. Mom, Akosua said, I am tired. Mom Dufie smiled. Good. It means you are carrying something real. Sometimes I am angry. When they praise me now, I remember when they would not call me to eat. That one too is human, the old woman said. I don't want my heart to become hard. Then keep giving it work to do. She held Akosua's hand. My child. Pain brings two tools, a knife and a hoe. Many people take the knife. They cut others. They cut themselves. But you took the HOA. Akosua's eyes filled with tears. I only wanted to survive. And that is how many great things begin. That night, thunder sounded far away. At first, nobody believed it. Then the sky flashed. A cool wind passed through Asubirim, and rain fell. Real rain. It hit roofs, filled pots, washed dust from leaves, and ran down faces that had forgotten how rain felt. Children screamed. Women laughed and cried. The dry earth drank until the whole village smelled alive again. Akosua walked to the farm behind the shrine and knelt in the mud behind her. Nana Bonsu spoke. You should be dancing. Akosua smiled. I am dancing inside. The old headman looked at the softened earth. When I gave you this land, I meant to shame you. I know I was wrong. Yes, Nana, you were. He lowered his head. Forgive me. Akosua touched the wet soil. The land has forgiven you already. See what it has grown. Not long after the rains returned, Mom Dufie died. They buried her beside the first well. And Akosua planted grain on her grave. Let her continue feeding people, she said. Years passed. The famine became a story, then a warning, then a lesson. Asubirim changed. Every household kept seed grain. Every harvest, food was placed in a common store. Every orphan received a small plot of land. Children were taught that food was not only something to eat, it was memory, discipline. Mercy became known far beyond the village. Some called her Nana Akosua, Aduane Akosua, the food giver. But in Asubirim, they still called her Akosua Nketewa, little Akosua, not to mock her, to remember when she grew old. The village carried her to the first farm behind the shrine. She looked at the land once given as an insult. Now it was green with maize, beans, millet, plantain, children working, women singing, and smoke rising from the common kitchen. Akosua smiled. So this is what stones were hiding. The young headman knelt beside her. Mother, what should we tell the children when you are gone? Akosua closed her eyes. Tell them no child is useless. Tell them hunger must never be mocked. Tell them the person you ignore today may carry your food tomorrow. And tell them purpose does not always arrive wearing gold. Sometimes it comes barefoot, hungry, and unwanted. That evening, Akosua died peacefully. They buried her beside Mom Dufie and the first well. On her grave, they planted food, not flowers. From that time, every harvest festival in Asubirim began the same way. The first bowl of food was given to an orphan, the second to a widow, the third to a stranger. Only after that did the chief eat, and when children asked why, the elders told them the story of Akosua Nketewa, the forgotten child, the girl nobody planted, the girl who was given stones and grew food, the orphan who fed a nation. Then the oldest elder would lift a seed and say, "Look at this, small, isn't it?" The children would nod, and the elder would smile. But inside, it is a whole farm. Then he would point at the children. And inside you, too, there is something this world has not yet seen. So when life gives you stones, do not be too quick to curse the land. Some stones are waiting for patient hands. Some pain is waiting for purpose. And sometimes, the child everyone forgets becomes the name a whole nation remembers.